Hello and welcome to the programme which looks at the Holy Land. I am Paul Calvert. Psalm 8, verse 1 from the New King James Bible says this: O Lord, our Lord, how excellent is your name in all the earth, you who set your glory above the heavens. I'm with Paula Okief from Christian Friends of Israel. You're a volunteer from the UK here in Israel. What sort of work have you been doing at the moment?
So I'm working with those traumatised by the war, and especially with the last 12-day war. Many people, 13,000 people have lost their homes or been displaced from their homes. And so we've been going to see what they need, to help them with their clothes, to listen to them, to bring comfort, to help them with furniture, with mattresses, with chairs and tables and different things that they need.
Is there a big need at the moment?
Yes, there is. Some of them are having their houses restored, but some of them are being demolished. And those that are being demolished, they need to find a place to live. And with so many people, like in Bat Yam, 2,000 people were displaced. And that's 2,000 extra homes that people need to find in a place where it's already overcrowded. So it's very challenging for them to find new places to live.
And what sort of stories are you hearing from the people?
So many people are so grateful to be alive. So many miraculous things happened. One family didn't have a bomb shelter. When the alarm went off, they went into the corridor, and then they said it was safe for them to come back to the house. So they went back into the house. The husband was in the corridor with the cats. The wife was just opening the cupboard, and suddenly a rocket hit, and there was a direct impact opposite them, in the house opposite them. She said everything went so black, she couldn't even see her hand in front of her. And everything started falling, the ceiling started falling. She fell down in the corner, and when everything stopped shaking, she thought her husband and the cats must be dead. And she shouted for her husband, she couldn't hear anything. He shouted, apparently he was shouting for her. They'd gone a bit deaf because of the explosion. And suddenly she saw one of the cats was in the cupboard, and it was okay. And then her husband was in the corridor. He tried to push the door, he tried to shout for her, and he thought she was dead behind the door. And then it turned out the door had just moved slightly. And they finally found out that they were both alive, and she just had a few scratches on her shoulder, and the whole ceiling had collapsed and missed both of them. It was absolutely miraculous.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like a real miracle there.
Yeah, and they are from Ukraine, so they've come from one war to another war. She is on a dialysis. She has dialysis 3 times a week. She's got kidney failure. And they said that they used to be atheists when they came from the Soviet Union, but now they're beginning to wonder if there is a God, because it was so miraculous the way that their lives were saved.
And they're already suffering from different problems before this happened.
They were, yeah. So we gave them Tanakh and said, your God, the God of Israel, is alive and he's doing miracles. And she said she's going to start to read the Tanakh and to really see if there is a God. So,
what other stories have you been hearing?
So there's another family in Rishon LeZion, and they also were not in the bomb shelter when the alarm went off, because the son also has kidney failure, also is on dialysis. And it was hard to wake him up. She's a single mom, also from Ukraine. And when the explosion happened, the windows were smashed and the house moved slightly. And they tried to get out. They couldn't open the door to get out, and they were terrified. And the boy, he's 17, but he looks much younger because he's got kidney problems. And he hadn't wanted to see anybody. And his mum said when we came with food vouchers, she hadn't been able to leave the house because he was too terrified. We came with food vouchers, and she said, I don't think he wants to talk to anybody. And we just went in and said hello, and he has a budgie. And we started talking to him in the budgie, and we gave him the Bible, and he just held it to his heart in Russian, and he started reading it. And we gave him little presents that we brought. He was so touched. And just such a blessing to be there, and they were so touched. And when we prayed for them, we said, could we pray for you? And he said yes. And his mum just started weeping and fell on her knees. They were just so touched by us going to visit them and just knowing that there must be a God. He's protected them.
Have some people lost everything?
Yeah, some people have lost everything, yeah. So many people. Another lady from Ukraine, just a new immigrant, just come, and she lost everything completely. And she's in a hotel still. There's still hundreds of people in hotels looking for new places to live.
Now, one building they were going to demolish, but they had a special ceremony about the demolishing. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's in Halon. It was on the 19th of June, the rocket hit, and 700 people were evacuated and lost their homes. And so they had a ceremony when we were privileged to go, where Israel Katz, the defense minister of Israel, came, and they basically wanted to honor the residents. He said, you're the true heroes here. We knew the war would be hard, but looking at your faces and looking at the buildings is really tragic. And then we stood up for Hatikva, the national anthem, and they had balloons go up, and then they said goodbye to the buildings, and then they started to demolish them. So it was like trying to honor the people and help them to have closure in the midst of losing everything. And the government is promising to rebuild those buildings. 3 of the buildings are being demolished. but it's going to take a while, a few years probably, to redo that. So the people have to find temporary accommodation somewhere else.
Was it an emotional time to see that happen?
It was a really emotional time, yeah. Heartbreaking stories. One girl, for her 16th birthday, her brother bought her a guitar. Her guitar was in the building. They couldn't get it. It was too dangerous. And her brother died in Gaza. And another family, all their photos of their children were in that building, and they couldn't get the photos back. And their 2 sons died in Gaza. So just heartbreaking. It's not just about things, it's about the memories connected with the things. But one of the good stories was from that same building. Another lady asked an IDF soldier if it was possible to get her stuff. She lived on the 3rd floor, and he very bravely went in and got her photos and the 2 bracelets of her sons when they were babies. And I saw him rescue them, and she was in tears that she had some of her memories, even though the building went down.
Wow. And you were invited specially to this event, were you?
We were invited, yeah, by the municipality of Holon, because they know we're helping people, and so they invited us to come. It was a privilege to be there.
What other stories are you hearing?
So lots of people are just very grateful to be alive, because so many people could almost have died, and very grateful that their cats were rescued as well. Many stories of cats and dogs that they thought they had been killed, and they came back, some of them the next day, and found the cat was hiding under the sofa. And another family, so it was a family with children, and they had no bomb shelter, and they were in one room, and the children were crying and saying they wanted to go to another room, and they went into another room in the house, and the rocket hit, and that room that they were in was completely damaged, and they were survived because they were in the other room. Wow. It's just many, many miracles like that.
We think of people, but we don't always think of pets, and pets are very much part of our family, but pets being rescued as well and being saved. Yeah,
people are so grateful for their cats. I saw a video of one lady who was from Bat Yam, and she showed the video of when she came out and saw her whole building, her whole home was destroyed, but the first thing she thought of was her cat, and she screamed for her cat. I could hear her screaming on the video, and there was no cat, and then she thought it was gone. And then the next day she came back, and she said the cat's name again, and the cat whimpered. The poor cat had been under the bed the whole time and been terrified, but she was so relieved. She'd had that cat 13 years and brought him from Ukraine with her. Very precious member of the family.
So the people that you're meeting today in these areas, are you feeling that there really is miracles taking place today here in Israel?
There's miracles taking place today here in Israel. And listen to this. In Holon, where they had the rocket attack on the 19th of June, on the 18th of June in the evening, they had a practice, and they had all of Holon, all of the ambulances and the fire brigade coming to practice just in case something like that happened. They had all the residents, they told them all to make sure they went to bomb shelters, to make sure they shut the doors and the windows. And then 16 hours later, they had a direct hit in the exact place where they'd done the practice. And not one person died. And within an hour and a half, they had taken out 700 people to hotels that had lost their homes, to hotels, and looked after them in an hour and a half. A miracle. And a miracle, nobody died. I saw the building, and thankfully Israel has really good bomb shelters, but because people had listened to the advice and went straight to the shelters, shut the doors and windows, not one person died. Wow. Absolute miracle. And to rescue in 1.5 hours 700 people from high-rise buildings is just a miracle.
Now, you've came over from the UK, and we're now starting to see a sort of phenomenon where nations are wanting to recognise a Palestinian state. Keir Starmer says he would possibly do it in September if Israel doesn't stop fighting. What do you think about that?
Well, the thing is, the Palestinians have been offered a state, a two-state solution 5 times, and every time they've said no to it. They want a one-state solution where it's just the Palestinians and no Jews. So I think it is harming Israel, it's harming the situation, and it's encouraging Hamas to not want to make a deal, to not want to do that. So I think it's really, really dangerous thing to do.
Do you think it's damaged the opportunity for the hostages to be released?
It's damaged the opportunity, because there was an opportunity for maybe 10 of them, living hostages, to be released. And it's critical for them. They are absolutely, they're starving to death. They need to be released now, and it's damaged it.
What is your prayer for Israel at this time, at this moment?
My prayer for Israel is that they would receive comfort from their God, the God of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, the God of Israel, that they would know that he is their God, that he would comfort them, that he would provide for them, that he would protect them, and that he would fight for them.
You're already seeing that.
We are seeing that. Amazing miracles all the time. He is an amazing God that we serve.
What's the website for CFI for people who'd like to know more about the work that you do?
So it's www.cfijerusalem.org.
Now, you're a volunteer. You've come to volunteer here at this time. Can other people come and volunteer as well?
Yes, anybody that wants to come and volunteer, there's a process to do. But yeah, it's so worth coming here and to serve the Lord and to help the people of Israel and stand with them at this time.
You're here with your mother. Have you enjoyed your time of being here as a volunteer in Israel during this time, this difficult time?
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. It's such a privilege. And my 81-year-old mother is here with me, and she is so pleased to be here as well and serving the Lord.
Well, Paula, thank you very much for sharing today.
Thank you. It's been such a privilege to be able to share.
Thank you for joining us today. Pray that God will move by his mighty power in the Holy Land and bring his peace.